ever wondered why a mighty continent like Africa, with over 1.4 billion people, doesn't have its own religion, its own prophet, its own holy book, its own spiritual system? Every other civilization gave birth to its own beliefs. The Arabs had their prophet from their own land, spoke their own language, wrote their holy book in Arabic. The Europeans created their own religious path, shaped it in their own image, and spread it to the world in their own tongue. In India, gods were born from Indian soil, in Indian stories and in Sanskrit. The Chinese built their own philosophies, Taoism, Confucianism, Zen, rooted deeply in their culture and spirit. But what about Africa? Africa, the land of kings, gold, warriors, queens, and ancient wisdom. Why did it stop believing in itself? Today, half of Africa follows Islam, the other half follows Christianity. But both of these faiths came from outside. There is no one God who looks like an African. There is no prophet who spoke an African language. There is no holy book written in Swahili, Zulu, Amharic, Yoruba, or Wolof. Why? Because slowly, over centuries, Africa was told that its own gods were evil, its traditions were savage, its wisdom was darkness. And Africa believed that lie. The Arab slave traders came first. Then came the European missionaries. Both brought religion, but they didn't just bring belief. They brought control, spiritual control, mental control, cultural control. They didn't want Africans to just worship their God. They wanted Africans to forget their own. And it worked. Look around today. A child born in Lagos, in Nairobi, in Accra, in Addis Ababa. Most of them know the names of foreign prophets, but not the names of their own ancestors. They read books from the Middle East and Europe, but have no idea about the wisdom of ancient African griots, philosophers, or spiritual leaders. Do you know the Dogon people of Mali had knowledge of the Sirius star system centuries before modern telescopes? Do you know the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Zulu, had entire spiritual systems more complex than what was taught to them by the colonizers? But all of this was buried by force, by fear, and by forgetting. Africans were not just colonized on their land, they were colonized in their minds. And now we raise our hands to pray to a God who looks nothing like us, speaks no language we understand, and comes from a place that once saw us as less than human. Some people say Africans are hated because of their black skin, but the real reason is deeper. Hatred exists because others know that Africans no longer believe in themselves. Power respects power. And when a people abandon their identity, their culture, their voice, why would anyone respect them? Ask yourself this: why is it easier for an African to accept a god from the desert sands of Arabia or the mountains of Europe, but hard to believe that a god could be born under the baobab tree? Why can't we imagine a divine voice rising from the Nile or the Congo or Kilimanjaro? Africa is the cradle of humanity. The first humans walked this land. The first fire was lit here. The first drums beat here. And yet today we kneel to the gods of those who enslaved us. This isn't just about religion. This is about power. And now the battlefield has changed. We are in the age of technology. This is the new war, not of swords or chains, but of data, innovation, artificial intelligence, digital empires. Those who control tech will control the future. And if Africa misses this revolution too, if we let the West and the East define the rules again, then we will not just fall behind. We will fall into another 1,000 years of mental slavery. We will become digital servants in someone else's world. So ask yourself, will you be a builder of the new Africa or a follower in another man's vision? Will you let your children grow up speaking freedom, but living in chains of code they don't control? The time is now. Rise, reclaim, rebuild. Believe in yourself again before it's too late.